Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Sunday School from Beverley Minster. My name is Ben and who are you?
Isla.
Excellent. Today we're going to be thinking about the story of Thomas. So we're going to start by doing the story, then we're going to do some colouring and some talking and some questions, and then we're going to make something. Does that sound good, Isla?
Yeah.
Cool. You need to get a cushion? Okay, cool. You get yourself a cushion, and then I'm going to get the Lion Story Bible. There we go, we can see it properly there. And we're going to read the story about Thomas. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this story starts just after Easter, because it's just after Easter, and it starts with the disciples together in a locked room together. So the disciples were in their room together and they'd locked the door behind them. Suddenly, Jesus came and stood among them. He gave the everyday greeting, "Peace be with you." Then he showed them the wounds of his crucifixion in his hands and his side. Can you see them? Having a look there. "Peace be with you," he said again. "As my Father God sent me, so now I send you to all the world with my message." Now Thomas wasn't there when this happened. And when he was back with the disciples and they told him what had happened, he was dismayed at what they told him. "I don't believe you," he told them firmly. Do you reckon you'd believe them? Would you be a bit confused as well? He said, "I don't believe you. And unless I see Jesus with my own eyes and touch his scarred hands and side, I won't believe." So a week went by. Again, the disciples were together in a locked room. Jesus came and spoke directly to Thomas. "Look," he said, "here are my hands. Reach out and touch them. And the wound in my side as well." Thomas's reply was simple. "My Lord and my God," he said. And can you see the picture there, Isla, of Thomas kneeling down?
Thomas.
Yellow is Thomas, kneeling down in front of Jesus. If you show everyone at home as well, there's the picture of Thomas kneeling down in front of Jesus, looking at the wounds in his hands. Okay?
It looks so strange because the disciples could have listened to him.
So, do you reckon the disciples could have done a better job
Yeah.
of telling Thomas about what happened to Jesus
Yeah.
and what they saw when he came to see them? Do you want to start colouring in your cross? So what we've got, guys, is two crosses. They look like this. And we just thought it'd be nice just to do a little bit of mindful colouring, because some of you guys might have gone back to school this week for the first time in a little bit, after the holidays, and you might have had quite a busy week. So we thought we'd do some colouring, just because it's nice and calming, isn't it? And while we're colouring, should we think about some questions, Isla?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, why do you think Thomas wasn't with the other disciples?
Because he wasn't a disciple.
Well, he was a disciple, so all the other disciples were in one place. But why do you think Thomas might not have been there? You got any ideas?
Because he didn't want to be with them because they wouldn't listen to Jesus.
Well, I think you're right that he didn't want to be with them, but I don't know if it was about listening. I think he was so sad that Jesus had died that he didn't want to be around his friends because they were making him feel sadder because they were reminding him that Jesus was gone. Do you think that seems likely?
Yeah.
Yeah? And what's my next question? How do you think Thomas felt when the disciples told him what they'd seen? Can you remember what it said in the story about how Thomas felt?
Sad?
He was sad. He was dismayed. That's what it says. Do you know what dismayed means?
It means you're very sad.
Yeah, I think.
And you think they're dead. They're only dead.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit like that. And it's like Thomas was so sad still about Jesus dying. He couldn't let himself believe that maybe, just maybe, he had actually come back. Now, can you remember how Thomas felt when he saw Jesus?
Happy.
Was it just normal happy? Was it like you know when you get given a chocolate, you're quite happy about that? Was it like that sort of happy or even more happy?
Even more happy to have chocolate. Lots and lots of chocolate eggs and Easter.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have compared Jesus coming back to getting chocolates. That was maybe bad on me. What do you think? Can you think of anything that would be as amazing as hearing that Jesus was your friend, was alive and with you again? Do you think it's the greatest thing that could have ever have happened?
Yeah, it is like the Easter story. It sounds like it. He is still alive in the sky.
You think Jesus is still alive now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the sky. Remember the Easter story when he came on a mountain and then a cloud came up, then he came on it and then he came in the sky?
You're getting a bit ahead of the story. That's at Ascension. We haven't got there yet.
No.
Oh, we can do that story later, don't worry. Okay, right, last question. I've got my last question for you. What questions do you think Thomas wanted to ask Jesus?
I think he didn't want to ask anything to him.
You don't think he wanted to ask any questions of Jesus?
Yeah.
Do you don't think there's any questions at all that he'd have about where have you been? Oh.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect.
Oh, is that a good question?
Yeah.
I was about to say, because I think we've all got lots of questions about what happens, about how the world works, about how God and Jesus are, and either you're slightly off camera where you're colouring in. There we go, let's do that. So yes. So Isla has noticed that we've got something else. No. Wait, just hold it, and then we'll show it in a second. Notice something slightly off camera for the next part of our activities this morning. So we've all got lots of questions, I think. You always have lots of questions, don't you, Isla? Your favourite word at the moment is why.
No, it's love. Because I got a love hat on my t-shirt.
Love is a good word, but you always ask me questions. You always say why. And so, Isla, you going to show everybody what we've got here?
Got our own mystery jar.
Mystery jar. It's a question jar. And
Question
jar. And now, so what we've done is I've got an old jar and we've drawn a question mark on it. But if you haven't got an old jar, that's okay. Just use like a takeaway tub or a Tupperware or
like an old tub
or a cardboard box maybe,
or maybe an old tub which doesn't need using anymore and you could use as rubbish.
Yeah, we could use any of those things, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to do with this jar? Can you remember what we said we're going to do with this jar?
Gonna write questions.
Yeah, and what are the questions going to be about? Are they going to be will Tottenham win the cup this weekend?
No, it's going to be about Jesus.
Oh, okay. So, what questions have you got about Jesus?
Well, what happened in the story?
What happened? Which bit of the story? When Jesus died?
When Thomas was dead.
Oh, so we could ask where was Thomas, maybe?
Yes! Where was Thomas when disciples saw Jesus?
What questions have you got about Jesus and God?
How could Jesus get back alive?
How could Jesus get back alive? How?
He was not just dead. He was just hurt on a cross like that. Just like hurt on a cross. Dad?
Well, no, Jesus was probably dead.
He was just hurt. His eyes wasn't even closed. It was open.
How do you know?
Because he was only on a wooden cross and nails are in there. They only when you get one hurting, that means you're only hurt and naked.
Jesus was definitely dead. But that's a really good question. So what we've done...
How could Jesus get back alive?
Yes, that's the question. And I've written it on this piece of paper.
Because Thomas didn't know that. Thomas didn't know he was going back alive.
Well, Isla, what I thought we could do is...
Because he didn't even hear the news from Mary from the story.
So Thomas hadn't heard from Mary that Jesus was alive again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's not in the story. I
not in this story.
At school.
This is the problem. You know too much about the story, don't you?
Yeah, I watched that a Even at home on your phone.
Okay. Shall we tell everybody at home what we're going to do with this jar so they know instead of you telling them about what you know? So what we're going to do is every time we come up with another question,
get all the questions in the question jar.
In the question jar. And then we thought, because you get questions at different times and different places, so all through the week we'll write questions down, we'll put them in the jar, and then we thought...
Every Sunday school.
Yes, and then we thought every Sunday we could take a couple of questions out and we could try to answer them. And that might be by you...
Even one today, Dad.
Well, we will do later. We'll answer one. But what I thought, so you can do this at home. So you can write your questions, and at the weekend, with your mums and dads, you could take out some of the questions and you could try answering them together. Because sometimes the best way to answer hard questions is with your family and your friends. And sometimes you might not get an answer. And that's okay, because you can talk about what you think the answer might be. And sometimes you might want to ask someone else who might know a little bit more about the Bible or about, following Jesus.
Like you, Dad.
Well...
Because you work at church and you always read Bibles of Jesus. Lots of stories.
I was going to suggest Wendy or Jonathan, because they're really clever. But you could ask me too. Or it could be like... Or it could be like your nana or granddad, because they know lots about the Bible too.
Yes, they've been at church.
Yeah, so there's lots of people.
There's lots of dates.
There's lots of people in our lives who it's great to ask these questions to and talk about the answers that we come up with. How does that sound, Isla?
Really great. And really good idea.
Yeah, I thought so. Now, I'm going to do a really subtle edit that you're not going to see at home, while I go and get the prayer that we're going to do in a second.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm back. No one noticed. It was a really subtle edit, Isla. It was really good. So, we're going to say a prayer together. So, can you just stop colouring a second? And just put...
Dad.
So you can do the colouring afterwards. Can you just put your hands together so everyone at home knows that we're all praying together? And then you can show them the special amen when we finish the prayer.
I'll say amen.
Yeah? Brilliant. Okay, so, you going there? So, put your hands together, eyes closed. Good girl. Lord Jesus, thank you that you are with us, even if we don't understand how. Help us to look for you in the things that happen each and every day. And we say together, Amen. So, we hope you enjoyed Sunday school this week. Did you enjoy it, Isla?
Yeah, I didn't even write any of that.
Well, you're gonna write some more questions. We're gonna write some questions and put them in our question jar this week, and we'll talk about them as we go. And
next Sunday school is me writing it, Dad.
Maybe we'll have to talk to Wendy. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Cool. I hope you enjoy doing your bit of colouring. This is how Isla's done so far, and she wants to show you a picture of it when it's all finished. And as restrictions are starting to open up, we hope that you're all able to have fun and be nice and safe wherever you are, and we look forward to seeing you soon. So you can say bye-bye, Isla.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.